Sport TV. We are coming to you live from the Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth, Texas for the 8th and final round of the inaugural Flux Motorsport IndyCar Championship here on the high banks at Texas Motor Speedway. I am your host, Carlin Hicks, joined in the booth tonight by Pogo Mojo. Say hi to the folks, Pogo.
Thanks, Carlin. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Texas Motor Speedway.
It looks to be a great night of racing, longtime home of the IndyCar series, both in sim racing and in real life. The Texas race, probably the second, for a long time, the second most attended IndyCar race behind the Indianapolis 500. But we've got a fantastic finish coming to you here tonight. OGR Cat Guy comes in as your points leader. He has a sizable advantage, not enough to quite clinch it up. 33 points over Green Gaming if Cat Guy had an engine problem and failed to finish in that 61 PureTech Dallara Chevy, and Green Gaming was able to win the race, then we could see a surprise champion here. But Cat Guy, 3 wins on the season, if I recall correctly. Long Beach, the first stop here at Texas Motor Speedway, and Road America. And he has, with those 3 wins, put himself in a very comfortable position looking here in the championship, as these guys are in the 20-minute qualifying session right now. We've got 10 cars on the track and a number that we're expecting to possibly pop in here late in the final round. But Pogo, seeing as how you and I are veterans, we've run this race here at Texas more than a few times. What are your keys to the race here at the high banks of the Texas Motor Speedway?
Well, the first thing would be is downforce, downforce, downforce. You want all the downforce you can handle to keep these cars nice and tight around this track, because tires are going to be really at a premium, and control is going to be hard to find on this track. It's going to be kind of greasy and loose. We're here in the evening. Might have a little dew in the air, but it's going to be cool. The track's going to cool down as we go, so you're going to want to tighten it up as you go, but that's going to be hard to find on this track, Carlin.
Oh yeah, I agree, and I'll say what the thing I would say as a driver coming up here, this track has a lot of character to it, a lot of bumps, a lot of changes. You can run really 3 grooves here, 2 or 3 grooves here, but you're going to see the rubber laid down over the course of the race. That'll change the line a little bit. Obviously, the temperature drops as the night goes on. The biggest thing I think here is to make the right adjustments. The guys who have dials set up for their front and rear roll bars can adjust the car through the tire run, as we see one shoe going into the wall coming out of the pits. But I think making those adjustments, making the adjustments of having the roll bars on and having adjusting the car as the tires burn, as the fuel burns. The tire degradation can be pretty severe at this place, even with the harder compounds that we use in the IndyCar series compared to the rest of the Flux series. It is a very challenging track technically for that very reason. You've got the bump in turn 2 that can catch you out in one of these cars easily, and we also have the fact that we're, at least for the moment, running the road course style rules in which there are no full course yellows. So early damage can put guys in trouble. We've seen the championship swing wildly here this season because of that. I think Cat Guy's in the lead, obviously, with 3 wins and the most experience and consistency. He's put himself in the best position. But if it stays at 10 starters, you'll probably see, it might be better for these drivers under those circumstances. But we are expecting a few late arrivals here, as Ed Yeager's going to pull it into the pits here to get some service on that car. He's currently sitting second in the qualifying order. Green Gaiman comes into this with a couple of podiums on the season, a number of top fives, a number of incidents as well, but nonetheless, his consistent finishing record has him second in the points, and as we said, he's an outside shot at winning the championship if he was able to win the race and Cat Guy didn't finish. A testament to what you can get by getting into pits, letting your crew fix the car and get back out, that he's been able to stay that far up in the championship, but his 2 podium finishes have really done the work. Third in the championship is Dale the Whale. Dale the Whale was your winner at Willow Springs earlier this season, has been extremely fast all season long, as you can see by the lap time he has there. But with Dale, he's got a shot at overtaking Green Gaiman for second place in the championship, but he does not have, he has been mathematically eliminated from the championship proper. Nonetheless, he's looking for a race win. He's, as I said, got the win at Willow Springs earlier this season. It was a dominating win as he lapped the field, and we'll see if he's got something for them here. Fourth place in the points is NZ Jack, the driver from New Zealand in the NTT data car. NZ Jack has had a pair of podiums this season, including that fantastic duel with Cat Guy at the Long Beach round in the season opener, in which they rolled at it for 45 minutes and we saw him finish a half a second behind Cat Guy. That's a guy knocking on the door for a win here. The Flux's version of Scott Dixon, shall we say, as he comes in fourth in the championship, and he's got not much of a shot to move up unless Green Gaiman or Dale the Whale fail to finish. Fifth in the points is Jiggly Jello. Excuse us. Fifth in the points is Jiggly Jello. He's had the type of season where he's currently third on the timing charts here in qualifying. Jiggly's had some very good runs this season. He's been on the podium. Another guy who I put as a contender here. On the screen, you're looking at Survivor in the DHL Honda. Survivor sitting ninth in the points, looking to lock away that top 10 finish, which is by no means guaranteed. There's Jiggly, as we said, sitting fifth in the points. Been very consistent all season. With about 9 minutes to go here in qualifying.
And it looks like we have Dale at the top with a 22.8. And it looks like he probably had a draft with that time. He's quite a bit ahead of second place Ed Yeager and Jiggly Jello. And it looks like we do have a pack of 4 cars on the track right now, just ahead of Ed Yeager, who might turn a really nice lap coming up here once he gets a sniff of this draft.
Oh, you got to time a qualifying lap here absolutely perfectly. Dale, we know, has a hot setup. That's been the buzz. It was the buzz the trip earlier this season here. Dale has a hot car underneath him. If he can keep it under him, everybody thinks he's got the fastest car head-to-head. Now, how good that'll be in traffic, that's another issue. Everybody knows he's quick. Ed Yeager, dating back to the previous organization, he's raced with us for a while. Ed is kind of like the Ed Carpenter in the IndyCars. He can come out. He's terrific on the ovals. He's had up and down performances on the road courses, but he can drive the ovals. And I'd put Ed as, everybody's a contender in a race like this if you can stay out of trouble. But I think Ed is the type of guy that this kind of race is his specialty if he can stay out of trouble. You've run these races before, Pogo. Why don't you pick a car and give us a walk around while I grab my my research assistant here a drink.
Well, we're in the cockpit here of Inter Boy Squash. We're going to come around to the start finish line and coming into turn 1. You want to hug that yellow white line, or even go a little bit below, like he is, and stay low in turn 2, because there's a bump mid-corner that will really upset the car. And then in turn 3, just again keep it on that yellow or white line all the way around, and then let it release up into a nice straight across the start finish line, and that's a lap here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Stay on it, Pogo. Talk a little about, you know how the bumps work here, particularly that bump in 2 that makes you commit high or low. How do you try to set up for that? And do you prefer to run the car? I mean, I think from your description there, you obviously prefer to run the car below the line. But are you a driver like me? If you're coming in there too wide with somebody, I know that when I'm coming in there too wide and we're getting to 2, I want to be above that bump or below it. I'm not gonna keep running that middle lane coming through 2 if I can avoid it. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree exactly. It's just very upsetting with the car, and you have no control with what's going to happen if you hit it right in the middle. You have to go either high or low, and it's where your car is in the center of 1 and 2, which makes you decide whether you're going to take it above or below the line, and if there's a car right next to you or not. You know, you always pay attention to the other drivers around you, and either use their draft, use their air, or break the air and make it yours. So a lot of it has to do with the vehicles around you on how you take that corner.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the key to this type of speedway oval racing, especially on a track like this, for those of you not in the know, Texas Motor Speedway, mile and a half, a little over 2.5 kilometers. It's 24 degrees of banking in the corners and a narrow amount of banking on the straightaways. Really, it's properly a tri-oval or a quad oval. As right here, I'd call it's a quad oval because of these turns. Now, there are some who swear that despite the fact that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, a place like this, you've got 6 turns because you've got to do the 2 turns in the quad oval. And those who argue and say that's not really a turn, it's just a kink in the straightaway. The argument I'd make that you could make for that turn is that if you're running in a pack, it certainly feels like a turn because you can't, the air will push you right into the wall. So it really is in a lot of ways. Let's put it this way: if the first long straightaway at Road America they call those kinks turns, then the quad oval here at Texas are turns. So it's almost 6 turns. Of course, we'll refer to it in the race by the standard oval 1, 2, 3, 4, and that section is the quad oval. But just know as a driver that, especially when you're in a pack of cars, that coming through there, it basically amounts to 2 more turns because you're looking at, you can easily upset the car. You don't want to catch, you can easily damage the wing if you catch too much of the dirt on the inside. And there's just a lot to running a race like this than just pedal to the floor and turn and left. Like I said earlier, I think the biggest factor that I'd be looking for is you want to have, you got to make the right pit stop. You got to do all that right, but you want to, who has the right adjustments? Veteran drivers like Cat Guy and One Shoe, those guys, they have the dials set up to make their adjustments with the roll bars. So they're going to run, and if that car starts to push, you're going to see them, soften up the front roll bars or stiffen up the rear. If they start getting loose, they're going to stiffen up the fronts and soften up the rear. And the people who make that adjustment the best are going to be the ones who have the best car towards the end of the race. We saw that last night right here on the road course as the Flux American Sports Car Championship, the GTEs came to their finale. At the end of the race, CDN Trooper had the best car at the end of the race. He ran down those in front of him with a car that was not the best at the beginning, but was certainly the best towards the end of the race. And that's something I expect to see here. I mean, I don't see you wanting to get laps down here. Obviously, you'll lose a lap on the cycle of pit stops, but you don't want to fall real far behind, but you want to maximize your tires and be smart. As we're looking at Dale the Whale, as we said, a win at Willow Springs. He's been fast all season. Has a lightning quick car. I'd put him as almost a favorite here. I believe Cat Guy, who of course is looking to clinch the inaugural Flux IndyCar Championship, he called Dale the Whale the fastest car in the garage. So we'll see if we'll see how that's going to work out here tonight.
Well, if I was a betting man, I would go with Cat Guy. He's got a little more experience from what I've seen in the past years of dialing the car in, as you say, tuning it for the track conditions that are at the present. Meaning the track at the start is going to be one gal to deal with, and a half an hour later, 20 minutes later, she's going to be a different gal wanting a different drink. So you have to dial your car in accordingly. And I think Cat has the experience to do that. I think he's going to push the limits, but he's also going to know how to adjust the car to the track, and that's how you win at the Texas Motor Speedway, especially at night, Carlin. You know that. You've had many wins here.
Oh yeah, the key thing at the night track, especially here in the springtime, it's a cool track. You get more grip at night actually, simply because the track's not 140 degrees and greasy. But you also see a bit less rubber buildup, I would say, at night because the track's not as hot. It's not as hard on the tires, so you may not have quite as much tire wear, but without as much rubber getting laid down, the track doesn't grip up as much over the course of the run. In the round 3 race here this season, these cars did about 100 laps or 150 miles. So we're going to see just about that amount. That's plenty of time to see the track change. As we're coming to the end of qualifying, it looks like Dale the Whale, 0.6 of a second. He has a comfortable lead on the field right now, as everybody appears to be pulling in. And they're timing out now, so Dale the Whale may take the bonus point here. And we'll have your starting lineup here momentarily, as unsurprisingly, Green Gaiman's going to be getting peeled up by the safety team right there. As he goes flying. You take a wreck like that, they're going to have to come get you. But as we hit the end of qualifying here, we will give you your starting lineup for round 8 of the 2021 Season 1 Flux IndyCar Championship final round here at Texas Motor Speedway. All right, your starting lineup for tonight's race on the pole in the number 9 Target Dallara Chevy is Dale the Whale with a blistering 22.860. Qualifying second was Ed Yeager with a solid 23.479. He, however, will be taking a 2 grid place penalty. Qualifying third was Jiggly Jello with a terrific run in the number 20 Ed Carpenter car. Fourth qualifier was NZ Jack from down in New Zealand. Fifth is Haynes Dad 66. He made his debut last week, I believe, had a solid run going. He's in that 83 Ganassi car, and another good qualifying run for him as he'll start fifth. Starting in sixth in the Hydroxycut car, longtime veteran of the series, it's your boy Squash. Starting seventh, the veteran One Shoe is in the 6th Dallara Chevy. He'll be flanked on the outside by the man looking to clinch the Flux IndyCar Championship tonight. OGR Cat Guy is in the 61 PureTech car. Starting on the inside of row 5 and 9th will be Survivor in the number 28 DHL car, his teammate and partner on the outside, the other championship contender, Green Gaming. All right, folks, 10 cars here, 45 minutes on the Texas Motor Speedway as they hit the 2-minute room and we get prepared to begin on the rolling start. Of course, all of our strategic talk, all that stuff, Pogo, it comes down to if we have a bad incident at the beginning, that's going to decide it. Now, we know that there are going to be rule changes coming in next season here in the oval races, but we'll discuss tonight's race and its old school style. It means take it easy early and stay out of trouble. That's all you really can do.
And we do have quite a few, I don't want to say rookies in the field, but rookies to our IndyCar inaugural season here on Flux, and going into that first corner and the first couple of laps is going to be integral about how the whole race is going to go, because being this close together on this restart and the start of this race, they have to be really careful and be really aware of the cars around them to keep them clean. And that's one of the main things on this track, besides your tires, is keep the fenders on the car.
Well, there's no fenders, Pogo, but your point is well taken. We're keeping the wings on it, and you're right. The dirty air is what catches people out with this the most. As we've said, we've described it in the past. That's the difference between oval racing and road racing. Road cars go fast too, but they don't sustain 3.5, 4.5 Gs the way that these cars do. That dirty air is going to make, is the biggest thing. A guy's car was handling fine. He gets out here, he gets in traffic, and the car stops handling, and he's at a complete loss as to why. That has to do with, the air of the cars in front of you. You've got an incredible wake. These cars doing well over 200 miles per hour, up in the 225, 230 range at top speed. So, all right, here we go. We've got Dale the Whale and Jiggly Jello on the front row, leading us to the start of tonight's final round of the inaugural Flux IndyCar Championship. A thanks to the fans, and we are green. Dale jumps out in front. Jiggly's going to fall in right behind him. They're looking 3 wide between Ed Yeager, Jack, and It's Your Boy. Cat Guy comes shooting up from the 8th spot. He's up into 6th. On board with Jack sitting in 3rd as Dale and Jiggly Jello trying to hook up together and build a little bit of a gap. Very good start on the opening lap by these guys. Ooh, Survivor takes it a little high, but does a great job pulling it back down. He's got one shoe coming up on the inside of him at the back of the pack. As they are trying to maintain pace, Haynes' dad falling back from 5th to 8th. But meanwhile, up front, we've got Dale the Whale and Jiggly Jello. They have built a little over a second back to NZ Jack, Ed Yeager, and Cat Guy. That's a good spot to get into on board here with Cat Guy running in 5th. He's looking up to Jack and Ed Yeager and probably just looking to settle in at this point, wouldn't you say, Pogo? Just make sure the front doesn't get away from you.
Just settle in. They all still have their wings on the car, and that's a good thing, Carlin.
Yeah, that was a terrific...
Settle in, get a car in front of you, and just, do some laps. Just get comfortable right now. Do some laps. Don't let anything bad happen to your car.
Got a comment from Joey, our former buddy, EASA Motorsports, a great broadcaster. We'd love to see you come on over here, Joey, sometime. Worked with him in the past. As we see Cat Guy coming inside of Jack. Him and, as I can't say it enough times, in the season opener at Long Beach, the duel that these two guys had for the win was terrific. Cat Guy ultimately came out with it. As I said, he's got 3 wins on the season. But he's looking good for the championship, obviously trying to keep it together. But meanwhile, a little bit of a gap as they fought back, as it looks like Dale, Jiggly, and Ed Yeager have pulled out into the front 3. They put a little bit of a gap on Cat Guy and Jack here in the very early going. As we said in the round 3 race here, the day race here, they did a touch over 100 laps, or about 150 miles. So you've got a long way to go. They're going to have to stop for fuel and tires. So it's going to be something interesting, to say the least. As right there, you've got Green Gaiman and his buddy Survivor racing side by side for 7th place as they're trying to get themselves back up.
Looks like just 3 or 4 nice little clips around the track. Everybody's settled in. They got a car or 2 to ride with, and let's just be patient now. Hit your marks. Don't hit other cars.
Yeah, I'm looking to get settled in here. If I'm in the back where One Shoe and them are, I want to start pulling my laps down. One Shoe can certainly run down in the 24s, but as you know, Pogo, you need the right dancing partner to get those lap times here. Now, what happens after the pit stop? That's a different story because things, it becomes more of a one-on-one race at that point. But as we're sitting right now, I think, like you said, a guy like One Shoe where he's at, he's falling back now. He's a half a lap down here off the start, but he can get those laps back and that time back if he settles in and finds someone he can run with. He's running right now behind Green Gaiman, and the two of them, we'll see if they can start picking it up. You see One Shoe put a 24.880 that last time. Somebody down on the apron. I did not see someone come into the pits. That's It's Your Boy Squash, and I'm wondering if he has some damage, or is that Survivor? Survivor's a bit of a distance back. These guys still got their wings on. Maybe they just had a spin. Survivor's falling back. He's gone a lap down. Meanwhile, Green Gaiman and One Shoe still moving up. We'll see. They put 25 threes on that time. So they are making...
And they're matching the leaders, the top three or the high 24s, 25s.
Yeah, you see, once they've settled in off the start, it's tough to start from back in the field. That is what makes qualifying important. It's not that you can't win these races from deep in the field. I've won races at this track from the very back row, but you have to have luck. You have to get into the right groove. And as you said, it looked like it took about 10, 12 laps for One Shoe and Green Gaiman to settle in and get into that position. Meanwhile, looking there at NZ Jack as he's trying to get into a drafting groove there with Cat Guy. They're running 4 seconds back from the front three. Not a bad position to be in. As long as you're not seeing that time continually tick up, you can settle in here. You know you've got a pit stop coming. You know that those three guys... It's tougher to be around. While you may be able to make up more time with a 3-car draft now, it's tougher to be around 2 other cars whenever the tires are bad and the fuel's low. So we'll see how that plays out as of right now. But why don't we get on board Ed Yeager and see what he's seeing in front of him with the guys see if he can see how they look. They're running, as you can see, Jiggly Jello running a smart race. Not surprised. Rookie season for Jiggly Jello. I ran with him in the stock cars. I remember from the very first round at Daytona. I said, this guy can run these ovals. He understands the nature of these kind of races, and he's going to sit there and groove. He's going to sit there and cruise. As long as he's staying with Dale, I think Jiggly's going to feel comfortable that he's got a shot at doing something. Ed's car here, tiny bit of oversteer you can see coming off of turn 4. This is the point, I've often made this point, and anybody wanting to learn how to race these on an oval, this is one of the great secrets that guys don't necessarily talk about. But it's not just when you catch the dirty air, it's where you catch it. Where Jiggly's at, looking in front in second place there, he has a steady stream of air. He's got Dale's air hitting him all the way down the front stretch and all the way into the corners. Nothing's catching him off guard. When he hits that corner, he knows where that air's coming from. You saw it push him up right there. He was ready for it. He probably burped the throttle and pulled it back down. Now, where Ed is right now, looking at about 15, 20 car lengths, he's in a position that's a lot more tenuous because he's foot to the throttle or foot to the floor. Coming into the turn right here, he's not really catching dirty air, but if he gets a little closer, then right there on the exit, especially in turn 4 coming up, that's what you don't want to have happen. No air hitting you right here, no real air. If he's about half that distance closer, then when he gets right there in 4, all of a sudden you pick up that air and you're going to get a sudden push. Now, that sudden push coming into 4, what that generally does to a driver is you realize you're going towards the wall, you turn the wheel harder to the left, and in an IndyCar that's stripped out to do 230 miles an hour on a 1.5 mile oval, Pogo, what happens when you do that? Around you come. It's the classic understeer, oversteer wreck where you're pushing towards turn 4, you turn the wheel hard to the left to correct it, and you pull a Gordon Smiley, and around you go with pretty horrible damage. So that's what you got to watch for when you catch the air. We got a number of guys pulling in early. That's Ed Yeager. Did he bang the car up? I didn't see him touch anything.
No, he didn't. That might just be unscheduled pit stop is what I'm thinking.
Or perhaps, I mean, I don't know. A little early, I would think, to be a scheduled pit stop. But Ed Yeager running in 3rd place, maybe this is his strategy. Maybe we can get a report from pit side here on our race feed. But that seems a little early for a scheduled pit stop, and I'm not seeing any damage.
I'm not either. It looks like a little scrape on the side of the car, but no damage whatsoever. Just a little paint scrapage.
I don't even see any. That looks like fuel and tires to me. Maybe that's his strategy. I don't know. 35 minutes is a little early. You're not doing 77, 80 laps on a tank of fuel. So maybe he's got a two pit stop strategy. But we'll have to find out from Ed there what went wrong. Survivor's in the pits again, or in the pits as well, looking perhaps to make some repairs. Yeah, he's got a car that's a little banged up on the right side. I'll bet you he's got. You can't see. There's no wing missing, but I'll bet you what you're seeing there is some suspension damage. All right, back out front here. Dale the Whale and Jiggly Jello have taken off from the start, working lap 25 now, 10 minutes into the race. They are running nose to tail, 0.2 of a second apart. They have about 6 seconds on the pair of Cat Guy and NZ Jack, who have about 13 seconds on the pair of Green Gaming and One Shoe. Now that's, on average, that's about 2 or 3/10 a lap, I'd say, is what the gap is between front pack, mid pack Pogo right now. And that is what's stretching that lead for the front runners. But still early days, still very early in this race.
It is early, Carlin, and I apologize for that. I had a little technical difficulty. Somebody stepped on the cord back here and pulled it out.
Unplugged you. Yeah, no problem.
Anyways, yeah, and what that is that's 2 drivers that are driving, know the draft, and they know how to run the draft a little bit better than the rest, of the partnerships, if you will, on the track. Oh, it looks like somebody's around here. Maybe Survivor.
That was Survivor on his way out of the pits. Yeah, going a little slow on his way out. He's a few laps down now. As he's coming back out.
But getting back to what you were saying when we were on board with Jack and well, actually it was who was that? That was Ed Yeager we were on board with and describing a lap. That, to me, if you're an upcoming driver and you're watching this out there and you want to race with us at Flux Motorsports, you can go to FluxMotorsports.com and see our welcome page and click to subscribe and join, and you can become a driver and race with us here on Championship Series. But absolutely, the best way I've learned to do that, Carlin, is what we just did on the onboard, is to get on board with some of these guys that have raced for a while, and you can see what they do right, what they do wrong, what you can do to help and better yourself. There's no better way to learn than to get on board with one of these drivers and see what they do in situations.
Absolutely.
I've learned the most.
Oh, and around goes Jack. We're on there. That is a perfect example. Oh, right there, just missing him is Haynes' dad as Jack's trying to get down to the bottom of the track. He lost that car badly coming off the corner. That looked to me like a sudden arrow loose situation. He turned that car hard. He was in the wake of Cat Guy, and around he went. Didn't look like he smacked the wall too hard. Let's see if he's making his way around now as he's falling back. Oh, Jack definitely has something. He's crab walking that thing after that one, trying to limp it back to the pits. That thing just stepped out on him big time, and it looks to me like despite a terrific first season here in the Flux IndyCar Championship, Jack is not going to get his first career win here this season, although I wouldn't put it past him to do it at some point next season. Meanwhile, the reason that hurts more than anything is that Cat Guy lost his drafting partner.
He did. I was just noticing that looking up at the timing sheet. He's 7 seconds back and dropping on much faster now.
Yeah, that definitely hurts Cat Guy. He needed that drafting partner to stay apace with Dale and Jiggly up front. And without them, we'll see what kind of lap he runs here, but it's going to be significantly slower than Dale and Jiggly, probably by a half a second to a second. 24.8, he's 4/10 off by himself. So, yeah, he's going to need, at this point... Go ahead, Pogo.
The next cars behind him are 15 seconds behind him, Green Gaming and One Shoe, and that's not going to help him. But we do possibly have pit stops coming up here within the next, I would say, 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, I would expect, and that's what he needs to look for, to try to get out with a partner, even if it's a lap down car, can help him out. But you got to remember, is it looks like now Jiggly Jello having a problem. He's falling backwards 6-7 seconds. Let's get on Jiggly. Cat Guy's passing him. I believe Jiggly's had an accident, or is he just pulling into the pits?
Yeah, he's lost a tire, it looks like.
He lost the front wing. Jiggly got into the wall somewhere, and just like that, things changed rapidly. Jiggly Jello's trying to sort it around. He's going to have some repairs, and that's another driver we looked to get his first career win here tonight before the season was out, and it looks like he's not going to be able to do it. He's going to have some extensive repairs to put a wing back on there. Meanwhile, that's going to put Dale by himself. No, not quite. Dale's got a couple of cars a lap down, Green Gaming and One Shoe, who are hanging with him and giving him draft. Everything's falling his way right now as Cat Guy now settles into second. But there's One Shoe running in fourth place, him and Green Gaming a lap down to Dale at this point. As we've got Jiggly Jello, Ed Yeager, and NZ Jack all on the pit lane making repairs.
Well, and like Cat Guy said, Dale the Whale has a heck of a car, because Green Gaming and One Shoe, they're having a hard time just to keep up with him.
Oh, yeah, he's got a hot setup. He's definitely got a hot setup under that car. They're having trouble just hanging with him right there as One Shoe lost the plot a little bit. He's about 4 seconds back now. I'm not sure if he had. No, One Shoe's pulling into the pits. All right, One Shoe's deciding to hit the pits.
He has several now. Ed Yeager, Jiggly Jello.
Those guys are making repairs. I believe One Shoe's might be a scheduled pit stop. His car looks okay to me. So it looks to me like One Shoe's making a scheduled stop, and we'll see how it sorts out when they come out. Still a long way to go. 28 minutes plus of the 45-minute race. As we said, we expect to see between 100 and 103 or so laps, I believe we saw last time. So we ran 155 miles, so 103 laps last time, and we're only 40 laps into it at this point. As it's your boy Squash hits the pit lane. Number of guys coming in. This could be a two-stop race. Maybe they're coming in 16 minutes in. I without damage. I'm wondering if these guys are going to try to stop twice. As One Shoe makes his way out, he's going to hope to catch that pack. Excellent job by One Shoe. Veteran driver comes back out, maintains fourth place.
Oh, we have a car around in front of him, and he just misses. Good move by One Shoe.
Yeah, just misses Survivor, who lost it in turn 4. Survivor having all kinds of trouble on the track as he pulls it back in already several laps down. Ed Yeager's back in the pits as well. That's a shame. Ed had a car that looked like it had the potential to win. And Ed's back in the pits looking like he's making more repairs. So things going wrong for these guys early. Meanwhile, Dale the Whale out in front. He's got 8 seconds on Cat Guy. That's a good thing right there if you can do that. I mean to say that on the broadcast, Pogo, but I love having the full track map up because the viewers can then see the arrows. They can compare where at the track people are. The white dot on your map is Dale, I believe. And the arrow you're looking at there is Cat Guy. So, yeah, he's looking... That looks like a long way, about 8 seconds, but that's not real far on one of these tracks. Dale puts that thing up in the marbles and has to get off the throttle, and half of that is gone instantly. So we'll see how it works out. 26 minutes to go, working lap 45. One Shoe and Green Gaming, or excuse me, One Shoe and Jiggly who lost a number of laps there. These guys, as you can see by these gaps, all off sequence. Haynes' dad hitting the pits again as well, and he's on his way out, looking to get himself a good finish. These guys are a number of laps down, but they are also off cycle. The front few cars have not pitted. Green Gaiman running in third. He's running a lap down.
Not sure what happened to Ed Yeager, but he's not running good laps yet, and we got to figure out what happened. We'll have to get our pit.
Have to get a report from him
and get some information. Yes.
Yeah, good question there on Ed Yeager. He was running so well. We did not see any contact he had, and his car didn't look that terrible, but whatever it was, he's been in a couple times. It's been extensive repairs, and definitely disappointing for him. Jiggly Jello as well, still running in fifth, although he's at this point 3, pushing 4 laps down off the cycle. Here comes Cat Guy into the pit lane from second place, making his stop at the 25-minute mark. And we'll see if that forces Dale's hand as Cat Guy comes in the 61 PureTech car. He looks like he's in a comfortable position at this point to clinch away the inaugural Flux IndyCar Championship. Service done, service out. Cat Guy's a veteran at this, and he will rejoin the track as these pit stops.
And it does put the pressure on Dale the Whale and Green Gamer. Then he's put a good pit stop in and no mistakes, and that's big on this track because it's hard to be perfect.
Yeah, it was about 8 seconds the gap. We'll see what that gap is when Dale makes his stop, as Green Gaiman comes in now for his pit stop in the number 5 Lucas Oil Aero Honda. As we said before, you guys have been watching these broadcasts all season. The IndyCar is using a common Dallara chassis. And the Dallara chassis, they then have a choice of a Chevy or Honda motor as Dale the Whale goes around.
Dale goes around. Oh, no.
Dale goes around in turn 2. He got kind of low on the track. It looks like he caught the apron on lap 51, and with a comfortable lead, Dale losing suspension pieces. He's trying to get that car righted, staying on the low part of the track, and that he's still in the lead because of the cycle of pit stops, but that's going to be devastating. That's going to be devastating because he is definitely going to have to come in now and get that car fixed. That ought to put this Cat Guy cycling back around. But as we said, this stuff can change so quickly. Dale was in control of this race from the pole, and here on lap 51, just about halfway, it looked to me, we caught the end of that pogo. That looked to me, though, you and I are veterans at this series. That looked to me like he got, if he was higher, it might have been the bump. It looked to me like he got low and might have caught the apron.
Yeah, and there was lap cars around him, so I think it was a little dirty air, and maybe the tire got down below that white line, and you can't do that with these Indy cars on this track. It will turn you every single time. Absolutely.
That is a tough situation, a tough scenario to be in, leading the race like that. And you know he's kicking himself because whatever it was, maybe, and we're speculating here, but maybe you're coming up on a couple of lap cars. You think I can take him here and not lose a second. And then when you catch that air, as soon as you turn that thing around, you're saying to yourself, as to quote the late great Benny Parsons, "You big dummy."
And he could have possibly been. He could have possibly been trying to come into the pit. We didn't have a camera on him, but he could have been trying to come in way a little too fast and turned it also. We'll have to get some onboard.
He was in turn 2, though. That was in turn 2, so I don't think that... If it was in 3, I would have agreed with you. Okay. That was turn 2. I would agree with you 100%. Yeah. He definitely had to be feeling the pressure after Cat Guy made such an excellent stop, but it looks like Dale has got some extensive repairs going here now.
We'll definitely put that on the bump in turn 2 then, Carlin.
All right, trying to keep track of everything going on around here. Green Gaiman, meanwhile, cycling back into second. He is a full lap down, it appears, to Cat Guy, who has cycled out in front with that cycle of pit stops, and just surprisingly, from what we expected there, as you said, incidents can definitely turn the tide of this race, and right now, Cat Guy's in a comfortable position.
He is, and he knows how to tune this car, and he'll just sit back, get comfortable, and turn laps. And he right now he's got a smile on his face, ear to ear. I know he does.
He's got Jiggly Jello right there, and I know the feeling there. Jiggly Jello's right behind him, so Jello's a couple of laps down thanks to his repairs, but he's looking to get another podium for him. Just by hanging in there. I think I've been in the position where you're in the last race, racing for a championship. It feels really, really good to clinch it with a win. As we lost It's Your Boy Squash. Looks like a blown motor there. Is he disconnected?
Blown motor. Looks like one shoe's around.
Oh, one shoe in the wall. That looks like it's on the back stretch.
Turn 2, yes.
Coming out of turn 2, one shoe. He has had a rough season as he just gets out of the way of NZ Jack.
Jack, yes.
He was trying to get to the bottom there to get out of everyone's way, but one shoe definitely put that thing around. He's had for an experienced driver, he's had a rough season when it comes to the incidents. He's been hit a few times, not of his own volition. He's put the car around a couple times like that. He still comes in 6th in points with a chance of passing Jiggly Jello and Jack to get as high as 4th, but doesn't look like that's going to happen now.
But he will come in and get repairs and get his pit and get back out there and possibly still finish 7th.
He still has a shot at a top 5, depending.
Correct.
To see how these guys sort out. Yeah, a long way to go still. 19 minutes, working lap 61 of an expected approximate of 100. Cat Guy stretching out his lead on Green Game and turning 24.6s. Dale turning 24.1s by himself. That's with a fresh car.
Dale's back here with his... Yeah, fresh car, fresh tires. He's got his nose to the grindstone saying, I want at least that fastest lap. Yeah,
at least the fastest lap, at least get the podium here. Dale, as we said, a definite championship contender all season long. He had a dominating win at Willow Springs. As a driver, myself, who was always known for being really good at Willow Springs, it was awe-inspiring to see what he did at Willow Springs this season in these cars. But he's had a lot of races this season, a lot of situations where he's been caught out. Some of them obviously not his fault, but something like that, we don't know exactly what happened. But he had a big enough lead that if it was, that you have to say, if it was an incident with somebody, he certainly didn't need to be aggressive there, getting by anyone. We don't know exactly what happened, but Dale's had that bad luck this season of getting caught up and stuff like that.
And he's starting to get a little light on Phil because each and every lap is a hair faster. He's down into the first car into the 23s. He's already down to the 23.740.
Yeah,
he has a nice hot rod. He's got to keep it clean now to get back up there on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, Dale, I've run with him before in the past. I would compare one of the other series regulars who's not here tonight. My name is Jeff, to running with Dale. Dale is a guy who obviously is running.
Cat Guy back in the pit.
Cat Guy's back in the pit.
Cat Guy's back in the pit. And looks like Green Game is going to pass him.
That seems odd, like it's possibly doesn't seem like a two-stop strategy. I don't see any damage on that car.
I don't either. I don't know what happened.
He might have some suspension damage or something like that, but that definitely throws things into a loop. It puts Green Gaiman into the lead. And now Cat Guy's falling back. So you never know how this stuff sorts out. Yeah, Cat Guy's making a repair there.
And Dale the Whale's catching him.
That guy's back and rolling. I'm not sure if that was just fresh tires. He only came in about 9 minutes ago, so I don't think that was a scheduled pit stop. I'm wondering if he had some suspension damage, overheating issues, something going on with that car, but that drops Cat Guy back to third. Maybe just not taking a chance. He knows he's here to clinch the championship and felt something wrong with the car. We'll have to find out in the post-race as Cat Guy heads back out onto the track. But that puts Green Gaming out in front, came in second place in the points. He comes out in the lead here on lap 67, just under 16 minutes to go. And Jiggly Jello, who made his own stop, is why we tell these guys to keep racing. Stuff happens, and right there you're seeing it. Jiggly Jello now is almost in a one-on-one. Does he have enough to catch Green Gaming? He'd have to make up a second a minute, it looks like. A second every 2 laps. He'd have to be a little bit less than a half a second a lap quicker, and right now he's running 4/10. That last lap was 4/10 of a second quicker, so we could have a fantastic finish here with 2 guys who have not won this season, who are looking for their first career win in the Flux IndyCar Championship. Let's take a look at let's get in Green.
Have help.
Yeah, let's get in Green.
Should be able to run good laps here.
Yeah, let's get in Green Gaming's cockpit and yeah, let's see how that car's handling for him, because we know with Green he's been fast at times this season in that Honda, but he's also had the snake bite him a few times. And right there, he's coming in. He's a little high. He's flirting with that bump, Pogo, running that line. But other than that, let's see how he is coming off of 4. Is he getting a crazy push? A little bit of an oversteer, but not bad. That car's handling pretty good. You drive a Honda. I'm a regular Chevy driver in the Indy cars. You've driven a Honda. There's not really much of a difference except that there's some different parameters on the engine tuning, but they're spec'd out the same: horsepower, boost, all that kind of stuff. Is there anything you noticed about them different between the two?
The main thing I noticed, Carlin, is the paint jobs are much better on the Honda.
There you go. There you go. I like my old...
but on the track, they act pretty much the same, Carlin.
Yeah, I like my old Gray Ghost, the Verizon car. I did a lot of winning in that one, but the Hondas too, as he said, they're very similar. Right there, he seems to be handling all right. I don't see a burp coming out of 4. He's got a car that's pretty good underneath him. We'll have to see how it works out over the course of the run now, working lap 73. But Jiggly Jello just steadily chopping away by 3 or 4 tenths a lap. Green Gaming, if he loses that draft from one shoe, then it could be a different story. Let's take a look at where Jiggly's at. Is he running with anybody? Jiggly has a car directly behind him that he needs some help with, but he is steadily chopping this down as he tries to catch up. That is actually Dale the Whale back in 4th place behind him, and that is good news for Jiggly, because that's a fast car to be hooked up with. If Jiggly's smart, he'll let Dale go by and just jump into his wake. There he goes. That's exactly what he does.
Dale's just gonna put him by.
Dale's just going to go,
He's running 23.8 right now.
Potty?
He's not worried about other cars. He's worried about getting by and chasing down Jiggly, actually. He just passed, so he's trying to get that lap, at least 24 seconds to get that.
Trying to get on the podium. Yeah, Dale's trying to run down Cat Guy to see if he can get on the podium in the last race of the season and salvage something out of this, but Cat Guy cruising into 24.8. Dale's got a fast car. As we said, as soon as he comes out of the pits and he's got fresh tires, he's running lightning quick. It falls off pretty quick and seems to drop back into the 24s like everybody else pretty fast, but those first handful of laps out, he is just a lightning bolt.
That and they're starting to get very light on fuel. They all start with full tanks, and now you're getting down to the end, and they're getting to where they have fumes in the tank. So they're doing flying laps,
Yeah, an
if
Indy
not
car.
close to quality.
An Indy car weighs in the 1,800 pound range. The amount of fuel in there probably weighs somewhere in the 150 pound range to 200 pounds. So that's a lot of, 100 something pounds of fuel. That's a lot of weight transfer to burn off. More so in an Indy car than in any other car because of the weight of it. And that's gonna definitely make a difference. It makes the back end a lot different actually towards the end of the run, right at the same time, as you said, Pogo, right at the same time that your rear tires are getting kind of slick. As Dale
Right,
passes Survivor.
doing a little math here, it looks like Dale will catch Cat Guy and have a fight for the podium. It's going to be very close. He's 13
gaining.
seconds back with 11 minutes, and he's catching a second a lap. So with a little draft, he's going to catch him. This is going to be very exciting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're going to see that battle for the podium. And meanwhile, Jiggly still, even without as much help, he's still turning off 3 or 4 tenths a lap, trying to catch up to Green Gaming. Those are two guys looking for their first win.
And that plays a part. Those nerves are getting larger and larger in those hands those knuckles are turning white on that steering wheel, I guarantee you.
I've been in Green Gaming's position before, where mainly on a strategy. Oh, Jiggly's back in the pits. What's going on there? Jiggly Jello back in the pits. I don't see any damage.
Does he need change of events? Does he need? There's something new.
I'm wondering if these guys are just tearing the tires off of it and don't want to risk putting it in the wall, because I don't see any damage on that car. That's a routine pit stop. He's in and out. But he was gaining.
Possible because he came in early, didn't he?
He did. He was gaining rapidly, so that's unfortunately going to shuffle him out. I wouldn't say he's completely out of it yet, but that's going to shuffle him out as he's going to make his way out. Green Gaming, meanwhile, pulling way out in front. He's got a lap on the field at the moment. The question is, can he make it all the way? When did he pit last? Might be a fuel saving situation.
He pit with 23 minutes on the clock, so he pit at halfway. So I imagine he's going all the way.
I imagine he can make it.
And by the looks of that move coming out of turn 2, he's being very cautious. He's not pushing it. He's just keeping it in between the white lines and being very safe. That last lap was a 26.2, so to me, he's pulling off the throttle and he's not going to put it in the wall.
He's dialed
between the white lines.
Yeah, he's definitely dialed it back. He's looking, if we go the distance that we did in round 3, they're going to run 103 laps. So he's got about 18 to go and a lead that he can't give away unless something goes wrong for him. So he's got to keep the car underneath him. And NZ Jack's
in the pits.
Yeah, Jack back in the pits. Unfortunately, that's going to cycle Haynes up into the top 5. He'll be happy with that. Dale, meanwhile, still turning those 23.7s as he's gaining on the field rapidly.
He's within 5 seconds of Cat Guy with 7+ minutes left. He's going to chase him down for second.
The big question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the big question here is how long can Dale maintain that pace? Those tires are going to fall off at some point. We saw it earlier in the race. He was falling back into the 24s. At that rate, if he could run 2 seconds a lap quicker than Green Gaming, he's pushing that time a little bit. Somebody's up in the wall. Looks like one shoe scraping up against the wall there, coming in through 2. He looks like he catches it. But that'll definitely be interesting. Ed Yeager back in the pits as well in the Quiznos machine.
And that looks like routine again. So you must be right, Jiggly, Ed. There's a lot of these drivers that are making a 2 pit stop race.
Yeah, I'm thinking the tires or they got caught out by the fuel. Either way, they cycled back. Dale the Whale just continuing to tear him up. Let's see where this one runs out.
And he can actually see Cat Guy for the first time.
Yeah, he's pulling a 2.5 seconds on Green Gaiman, which is not quite enough. So Green Gaiman's just got to keep that horse underneath him. Cat Guy, meanwhile, looking ahead to Jiggly Jello there in 4th place. Looking to put another podium up and clinch up, as we said, the inaugural Flux IndyCar Championship. 3 wins on the season for Cat Guy. Long Beach, the first Texas race, and Road America. And he's been very consistent all season, as we expected the veteran driver to be, working his way around Jack there. And he's got Dale coming right back through the lap traffic. And trying to catch him. Now, the more these guys race each other, that's going to be good for Green Gaiman. Dale going to try to work around Jiggly here. Gives him the inside line.
And Dale is pretty loose. You can see how he got up, and he actually went on the outside of that bump in turn 2, which is very risky.
Oh, he's got that car stripped out, you can tell. Now he's right on Cat Guy's tail, looking to take 2nd place, as these guys are now, they're picking up more than a second a lap on Green Gaiman. But we're looking for the pass for 2nd.
I wouldn't be surprised if Cat Guy just dropped down and just let him by. Yeah, that's an experienced move right there.
Yeah, just
that's
fall
into move.
Yeah, fall into 3rd, run behind him, see if you can pull some of what he's got. But Dale's just checking out. He's got, I'm not sure what he did when he went in there. Maybe tire pressures, maybe he turned the roll bars into the loosest car possible, but whatever it is, out he came with a rocket ship.
That's tire pressures, Carlin. The later you get in this track, the different tire, a little bit higher tire pressures can increase your speed just by that much.
And he's definitely pulling it away now. Back running in the 23s. Green Gaiman ran a 27 that lap. As he's down on the apron, is he coming into the pits? And he's spinning it. He's spinning it down in turn 4. I'm going to guess here that Green Gaiman needed to pit for fuel, so his chance for the win, he's coming up 8 or 9 laps short here, as Green Gaiman's going to have to hit the pits, and that, wouldn't you know it, is going to cycle Dale the Whale back out to the front with Cat Guy in his wake. So Green Gaiman, unfortunately, obviously needing to pit for fuel and or tires on lap 95. And as he's sitting on pit lane, Dale comes around. He's got Cat Guy not far behind him. 4th place Jiggly Jello right there is not in the mix. He's a lap off these two. But we're going to have a battle for the win now.
Battle for the win, and this Green Gaiman's going to hold on to 3rd. This Jiggly going to pass him, and we have another car in the pit.
Haynes' dad making a stop. I'm thinking that's fuel. This late in the race, Pogo, they're running low on the old ethanol.
Yep. They haven't been running nose to tail. They can't save a whole lot of fuel when you're running by yourself. You have to have it to the floor to keep up with the front runners.
Absolutely. Dale holding about half a second on Cat Guy, as Cat Guy's got Jiggly on his tail, either providing some draft push or making him arrow loose. It's tough to tell. As you're looking at Jiggly, who's in 3rd place right here, that is 1, 2, 3 on the track. However, Jiggly is a lap down. And the Cat Guy's just seeing if he's got something for him. He's only got maybe 5 more laps at the line to make a move. Otherwise, Dale will be picking up his 2nd win of the IndyCar season, and given where he's at and where Green Gaiman was at, would be clinching 2nd place in the points championship as well. Dale pulling to the inside. What's going on there? Dale slowed down. I'm not sure if he's just wanting to race with Cat Guy or what the story is here, but Dale pulled back down. Maybe he doesn't want to be in front. Oh, they're coming through debris. Survivor coming back down across the track after wrecking on the backstretch, slides right in front of Dale the Whale. And that is going to take Dale's got a pit here. Let's see if he just tries. He's going to try to drive it around and get his finish, but that was a sketchy move on Survivor's part. Dale puts it up into the wall here as he's trying to drive that thing and can't quite make it work. That was unfortunate. Survivor had hit the outside wall and was trying to steer down to the inside. Dale could not avoid him. He probably should have just kept it up on the wall till the pack passed by. But that is just devastating for Dale the Whale, who had every shot at winning this race. And that's going to put Cat Guy by his lonesome, and not the way you want to see it, but it looks like Cat Guy may clinch the inaugural Flux IndyCar Championship with his 4th win in 7 races this season. That was a tough move. Survivor, I'm not sure. It looked to me like he was trying to come down. It's hard to tell. In the cockpit, it could be a different story, but Dale had nowhere to go. Nonetheless, as you see Dale there just trying to ride it around and get a finish as he's falling all the way back to 4th. But what a tough situation. I think Cat Guy here is slowing down because he doesn't want to do an extra lap. Maybe he's running low on fuel. He's going to have to do it, though.
Yeah, he missed the timer by 3-4 seconds. It sounds like he's back into the gas.
But there it goes. We're going to get on here with Cat Guy as he's going to bring it home for his 4th win of the inaugural Flux IndyCar Championship, and your inaugural Flux Motorsport IndyCar Champion 2021 Season 1 will be OGR, a Cat Guy. Jiggly looking to bring it home in 2nd place, another solid podium finish for him. And Green Gaiman looks like he's going to be able to salvage a podium out of this despite that late pit stop. So I believe that's his 3rd podium of the season, a solid finish to the season. He's going to wrap up 2nd place in the points championship this season for Green Gaming. But we are finished here at the Texas Motor Speedway. A lot of action. Wow, that was everything we expected there, Pogo. Your winner, his 4th win on the season, and the inaugural Flux Motorsport 2021 Season 1 IndyCar champion is OGR Cat Guy in the 61 PureTech Chevrolet. What a race, what a round. Coming in 2nd, Jiggly Jello with a terrific run himself. Had some early damage, came firing back out, and drove it all the way back up into 2nd place and a spot on the podium. Joining them on the 3rd step of the podium, despite having to make that late pit stop, Green Gaiman with his 3rd podium finish of the season comes home in 3rd. Dale the Whale, hard luck. Looked like he had a real shot at winning this race. Fastest car out there, took the pole, took what looks like it was the fastest lap of the race. Made that contact with Survivor coming back down the track. He's going to limp it home for a 4th place finish. One Shoe brings it home in 5th place, but he was 10 laps down thanks to the amount of damage he sustained and had to fix. NZ Jack with a hard luck day. He was running very well till that spin about 15 minutes in, brings it home in 6th. Haynes' dad qualified in 5th, brings the car home in 7th with a solid Yeoman's run as he had to tough that one out. He had his own damage. Ed Yeager ran with the leaders early on. He's going to wind up bringing it home to an 8th place finish, and Survivor will wrap up our finishers in 9th place. That is the season for the Flux Motorsport IndyCar Championship. As we said, once again, congratulations to OGR Cat Guy, your inaugural champion with 4 race wins. He had a fantastic season. We've got a big weekend wrapping up tomorrow. The Flux GT3 Championship on the European Tour will run at 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern in the States. That is the final round of the GT3 Championship at Bathurst. Meanwhile, on the American Tour, we will be right back here tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the Flux Stock Car Championship finale here on the Texas Motor Speedway. A lot of big announcements coming about the stock cars for next season as well. As we said before, FluxMotorsport.com for all to join and to get all your merchandise, to make donations, and to join the general circus here at Flux Motorsport, the tops in console sim racing. Any final thoughts on the season here, Pogo? It's been a spectacular ride and a pleasure sharing the booth with you.
Well, I tell you, this race here was so exciting. I didn't know which way to look. There was so much action and so many lead changes. It was the best race of the year, and of course, the winner came out on top, not only tonight, but for the season. Great job, Cat Guy. Congratulations. Congratulations to all the drivers. Wonderful to be in the booth with you. And thank you, and look forward to next season.
Absolutely, guys. So we're going to sign off here for Flux Motorsport TV. We will see you tomorrow right back here at the Texas Motor Speedway and at Bathurst in the GT3s. For Pogo Mojo, this is Carlin Hicks signing off, saying good night from the Texas Motor Speedway.